May I come in, sir?
Yes, please do.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sirs.
Good evening. Please take a seat.
Thank you, sir.
You're Mr. Kamalkishore.
Yes, sir.
Kamalkishore is your given name?
Yes, sir.
Kamalkishore, I just want you to notice that you are sitting at around 12-13 feet from anybody in this room,
Yes.
right? This arrangement is made so that you feel comfortable and safe, and you can safely remove your mask considering that you are at a safe distance, right?
Okay.
Please.
Thank you, sir.
Comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Can we start?
Yes, sir.
To begin with, Kamalkishore, please introduce yourself to board members.
Sir, I'm Kamalkishore Kandarkar. I'm from Latur, Maharashtra, and I have studied my primary and high school in Latur itself. I completed my graduation in mechanical engineering from Walchand College of Engineering, Sangli, and then I started preparing for civil services. At the same time, I also completed my Master of Arts in Sociology from Indira Gandhi National Open University. My hobbies are playing chess as well as collecting Sanskrit Subhashitas and diary writing. Currently, I am also working in part-time in different institutions for UPSC content, etc.
So, if you are, you believe that the crisis is so big that you are working in this small-time employment, why don't you just go and start working in full-time? For example, say you have done mechanical engineering and you have done from good institution, right?
Yes, sir.
So you will be able to get a good job.
Sir, I may be able to get good job in mechanical engineering field, but sir, it has been nearly 6 years I have left the mechanical engineering, and I am also preparing for civil services. So I have built good skills in civil services, and I'm working part time because at the same time I'm also preparing for civil services. So I have to balance between my studies and work. So that's why I'm working part time in civil services preparation.
I can see that you, in your DEF, you have taken sociology as your option,
Yes, sir.
right? And I can see that you have mentioned that you were born in Beed district of Maharashtra.
Yes, sir.
In Beed district, there was this news of mass scale hysterectomy, which is the removal of the uterus of the women, surgeries taking place, and it was in news for quite some time. What exactly is the issue about? Have you heard of it?
Sorry, sir. The removing of uterus, I haven't heard of the.
It is a surgical process in which women's uterus is being removed on the behest of their employers, because they believe that women without uterus is the women worker they want. Do you remember that?
Sorry, sir.
In your birthplace district, the instances of hysterectomy, which is removal of the thing, is 12 times the national average. Why is it so? I'm telling about your birthplace to you rather than you telling me about it.
Yes, sir. I will definitely read about it. And sir, there are some problems related to woman discrimination and patriarchy in the Beed district itself. There are also high female feticide rates in Beed also. And sir, removing uterus, that may be some prejudices against women in that district. Also, sir, lack of.
I'm sure you can look at it later.
Yes.
You also mentioned that you like playing chess.
Yes, sir.
What is anti-chess?
Sir, anti-chess, which is also called as losing chess, where a player who loses all his pieces as at first wins the match. And there are some rules like if you can take the opponent's piece, you have to take that piece mandatorily. And king is also some any other piece. And sir, the person who loses all pieces at first wins the match.
If you look at the chess player's attributes, what are the qualities of a chess player which will become a problem in the anti-chess?
Sir, in the standard chess, you have to make strategy that you should not lose your pieces, and at the same time you have to checkmate the opponent. And secondly, you arrange the pieces in such manner that.
My question is, what are the game attributes, what are the qualities of the player which a chess player or standard chess player have to change, or which becomes a problem in anti-chess?
Sir, I think planning and strategy is one of the quality.
It is required in the both.
Yes.
It will be required in the both.
Yes, sir.
What else? anything which is required in the chess but will become a problem in anti-chess.
In chess, you don't have to lose all your pieces, but in chess, you have to lose all your pieces. So that will be problem for the standard chess player.
Okay. Anything else?
Sorry, sir, I can't recall any other such
No
attribute.
problem. Sociology is your optional paper.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, what are agents of socialization?
Sir, agents of socialization include family, then school and educational institutions, as well as our peer group, as well as society at a whole, and sir, to some extent, state can also become a tool of socialization.
Is bureaucracy an agency to socialization or is an agency to change, social change?
Sir, bureaucracy can act as a socialization as well as it can act as a social change as well. It can act as a socialization tool because it decides, for example, educational criteria or educational syllabus, which in turn can help the children or the students in socializing with the larger society. So bureaucracy can become a tool of social change, socialization as well, and it is a larger tool of social change because it gives opportunity to upscale the ladder in the social hierarchy as well as social stratification. So it can become as a tool of social change as well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Kamal, so your one of the hobbies is quite interesting, but I'll come for this particular question later on. My first question to you is that, could you please elaborate this statement that history is the graveyard of aristocracies?
Sir, throughout the history, there have been different aristocracies, and if we see the history as a whole, many aristocracies have been buried. Like for example, during the French Revolution, the French aristocracy was buried and graveyard, and the democracy and liberty, fraternity, such values came during the French Revolution. So in that sense, history is the graveyard of aristocracy, sir.
Who made this statement?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of.
Okay. Your hobby is equally very interesting, that is collecting Sanskrit subhasitas.
Yes, sir.
So first of all, could you explain to us that what exactly is this subhasitas?
Sir, Sanskrit subhasitas are mostly two-line verses. Su means good and bhashitas means speeches. So these are good speeches which are sometimes motivational, sometimes moral or ethical message giving, as well as it guides one to have good wisdom as well as good character. So all these are attributes that one can get into from the Sanskrit subhashitas, and these are also used in our ancient texts like Ramayana, Mahabharata, or in Hitopadesh, Panchatantra, or Niti Shatakam, etc. Many such books.
Okay, why the Indian society has lost the touch to read and to know much about Sanskrit? Sanskrit happened to be the oldest language in the world, yet the Indians have lost the touch on Sanskrit. Why?
Sir, Sanskrit is one of the two oldest language in the world with the Tamil, and the Indians have largely lost the touch with the Sanskrit because there were many variant of the Sanskrit that came and which were appealing to the masses. Sanskrit had to have some grammatical learnings which were not possible for the poor and the so-called depressed oppressed caste. Also, sir, the language was used by the upper caste mostly after the later Vedic period, in the Gupta period or so, and so this was one of the reason. And after, sir, the Britishers came, and after the Islamic invasions in India, there were large scale use of the Parsi and other languages in the administration. So all these reasons contributed for the reducing of the Sanskrit.
Which state of India has recognized Sanskrit as the official language?
Sir, as far as I remember, Uttarakhand is one of the state where Sanskrit is recognized as official language.
Yes, and how many villages in India which still speak only Sanskrit?
Sir, at least 2 villages are in Karnataka speak the Sanskrit language.
And 3 more are there in Madhya Pradesh.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So next question to you, how the government of India can promote this language Sanskrit, because we are missing out the touch with Sanskrit.
Yes, sir.
And Sanskrit happened to be also one of the scientific languages.
Yes, sir.
So how the government of India, or rather how we can promote Sanskrit as a language in India?
Sir, firstly, government of India can promote Sanskrit firstly at the school level and in the three language formula, the government is using Sanskrit as one of the languages among the three languages, and I also generated my interest in Sanskrit because of this policy of the government, that is three language formula. I learned Sanskrit in 8th and 10th classes. And secondly, government can,
So is it being implemented in India, the three language formula are you talking about?
sir, in most of the states it is implemented.
Which
but
all the states have not implemented it?
sir, as far as I remember, Tamil Nadu is the state where three language formula is not implemented.
And otherwise, I mean, apart from Tamil Nadu?
Sir, I think most of the states have implemented the three language formula.
Are you sure?
Sir, most of the
Okay,
states
leave
have
it, leave it.
implemented. But
My next question to you is that you also have mentioned about diary writing.
yes, sir.
All right. So why this diary writing as a hobby that you have developed? Why?
Sir, diary writing helps me in understanding myself better, as well as in I can go back into the diary and read the diary and go back into my memories. Secondly, it also helps me to plan, to have my plans, and also it helps me to see my mistakes and improve my mistakes and learn from those mistakes. So that's what that is the reason I started diary writing.
So diary writing can also be dangerous for you when you get into the administration, because you will expose many of the politicians and your bosses also, isn't it? So is it going to help you out there?
Sir, in administration, I think diary writing can largely helpful. But sir, and it's a personal diary writing, so it will not expose anyone because it's very much personal, and I will not give it
So
to
why
anyone.
something which is very personal, very much personal, you want to express, you want to write for someone else?
Sorry, sir.
Why something which is very personal to you, you want to write for someone else, in fact?
Sir, it's my views about them, or I can even learn from those things. That's why I may write sometimes about these things, or my opinion about these things as well.
Okay, have you heard about Che Guevara?
He
Che
wa-
Guevara. Have you heard about this person, Che
Yes, sir.
Guevara? Who was he?
Sir, he was one of the Latin American leader
Mhm.
in the communist region.
Okay, so why was he famous?
Sir, as far as I remember, he was famous for his communist ideology and leadership.
Not about diary writing, isn't it? Okay, thank you.
Sorry, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, hello Kamalkishore.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Kamalkishore, if any person is unemployed due to technology upgradation, which type of unemployed he is?
Sir, as far as I remember, it is a structural unemployment.
It is structural or frictional?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm confused.
Okay. We are moving towards automation, artificial intelligence, and in India, there is the issue of joblessness now. So, how will it solve the joblessness situation in India? It will increase, or how?
Sir, in short term, automation can reduce the employment in India. But sir, at the long term, we have to impart the required skills which are required for the creating the automation, as well as the high skills like the information technology. And sir, in these
Kamal,
skills in turn can
in
increase the jobs.
India, when we see the labor force, the labor is more supply driven, as when we see as per the skill rather than the demand driven. So how can you expect the more skilled labor for the automation and the artificial intelligence that you require for industry 4.0?
But sir, it in overall it will increase the economic growth as well. And sir, the skills required for automation or artificial intelligence, that will come from the people itself, or from the job market itself. And so if we impart the required skill to the people, or to the laborer, to the job seekers in India, then we can in turn turn the situation into the
Kamal, for the country like India, which is more required, job or technology?
sir, we require both job as well as technology.
You
Technology
see, due to the technology upgradation, lot of informal labors are there in India, and one of the major cause of information or informationalization of labor in India is the technology upgradation. So if the technology you will adopt that technology, then the huge number of informal labor will be there.
Sir, we have to adopt some strategy to use that informal labor.
Tell me that strategy.
Sir, as I said, that skilling the informal labor and educating the informal labor.
How can you skill the labor?
Sir, for example, government is focusing on manufacturing sector as well as manufacturing of electronics, electronic product, etc. So the required skill for that manufacturing or manufacturing as well as the electronic manufacturing as well as the information technology, etc. can be given to the workforce, and this workforce can be used for the formal sector and can turn into the formal sector. And as well as, sir, informal sector, that it will remain for some time in India, but as the economy grows and there is more formalization of jobs, it will reduce with the time.
Since 2015, government is implementing this Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana Skill India program.
Yes, sir.
Still, we have only, as per Niti Aayog report, we are only 4% of the labor that are skilled. So, this program are doing well, or we have to close this program?
Sir, to some extent, these programs have been doing good job of imparting the skill. But sir, in the overall, there is a lack of industries in India and lack of investment, and so that's why lack of jobs are there. That's why the skilled persons are not getting employment. But sir, the skilling is very important, and we have to continue.
So, as per you, we need the labor-intensive industry rather than the capital-intensive.
Yes, sir. Textile.
So, we don't need the technology. We need the industry where the less technology will be there, but more labor will be employed. Is it right?
Sir, technology is required. The lack of technology is competing with the world, sir. And if we go back without the technology, then the progress all over the progress of country will stop, sir. So the technology is required as well as.
But it will be very costly, Kamal. MSME will adopt a high technology. They will pay a huge cost. How this problem will be resolved? Since we have a huge MSME and we need the high technology there. Tell me.
Sir, slowly as they grow and as their profit increases, as well as they can take credit from the banks, and all these things can improve their technology gradually, sir.
Which type of credit facilities they are getting from the bank for the technology?
Sir,
specifically for technology, I am not aware of such credit.
Okay, thank you. Sir,
Thank you.
please.
how are you feeling? Kamal?
I'm good, sir.
You good? Okay. You have a very interesting hobby, that chess is your interesting hobby.
Yes, sir.
Suppose Prime Minister is queen and President is the king. Where do you place bureaucrats in the chessboard?
Sir, I think bureaucrats will be the minor pieces and the major pieces like rook, bishop, and the knight.
These are rook, bishop and knight will be the bureaucrats.
Yes, sir.
Then who are the pawns?
Sir, I can't give any phenomena to the pawns, sir.
Okay. We've seen that cooperative federalism is a word which is actually not very cooperative these days. Do you recall any incidents?
Sir,
We've seen many of the states, there have been disputes within these states. So do you see anything in the recent past?
within districts or within states, sir?
Within state? Leave
Sir, I
it.
can't remember.
Let's give you an example. Suppose you are a district magistrate posted in some of the district in West Bengal, and one of the central government scheme is in your opinion is very much helpful for the poor people, and you feel like it needs to be implemented, but your chief minister is saying that you not to talk about this scheme per se. How will you convince your chief minister? You will leave your people and let the people suffer? What will be your stand as a district magistrate?
Sir, if possible, I will try to meet personally with the Honorable Chief Minister, as well as I can give presentation of what are the benefits to the poor or marginalized section of the society if we implement those schemes.
Your chief minister is saying that at any cost this central government scheme should not be implemented. Then?
Sir, if the Honorable Chief Minister is adamant on that point, I can suggest them to have similar scheme from the state government support. But sir, the scheme's benefit should be goes to the poor and marginalized section, should get benefit out of that scheme. So I will try to suggest them similar scheme on the state government's front.
That's all from my side, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Kamalkishore. So Kamalkishore, you hails from Maharashtra.
Yes, sir.
If we do talk about on the topic of the federalism,
yes,
in the year 2026 we might face an unprecedented crisis, where the delimitation might take place and the MP's seat might get increased. But who would be at the loss? Populous state, right? State those who do not much contribute to the economy, who would be at the receiving end? Lesser populous state, but doing well in the economy. Do you think this kind of the crisis we are going to face it?
Sir, as we talked about cooperative federalism, I think that if the center is going to change any seats in the states about the member of parliament, etc., then there will be much more consultation and discussion about these topics in the among the states and among the center, as well as among people as well. In the media as well, there will be more debates, discussions about these topics, and then only we will reach some conclusion about such topic. I think that will.
But in any case, state of Bihar, state of Uttar Pradesh, state of Maharashtra, many other populous state would be having the upper say. In any case, state of Kerala, Telangana would be having the lesser say, because the allocation of the seats would be based on the population. What would be the amicable formula that you think in your mind could be possible?
Sir, I think that we can use some statistical methods and giving some taking out some points like the population of the state, or the total fertility rate, or the population controlling measures of the state, etc., and give the particular weightage to each of these points, and then only we can take some criteria to change the seats, sir. This can be one of the amicable formula.
All right. Kamalkishore, you comes from Maharashtra, and Maharashtra's land has been very fertile in terms of giving, some social revolutions, or you can say, the things of the social change as compared to the other part of the country. Is there anything specific which makes it more, change oriented, or more so on socially, more proactive?
Yes, sir. There are a few things that make the Maharashtra land more proactive. And sir, I can go back to the roots of Maharashtra and some of the social reformers like Sant Jnaneshwar from the Bhakti movement. From Bhakti movement itself, the social reforms were started in Maharashtra. At the same time, sir, after them there were many saints like Sant Tukaram, Sant Ramdas, and sir, during the Shivaji Maharaj rule also, they were trying to have some social reforms as well, and because of these reasons, there have been many social reforms in Maharashtra. And at the time of Britishers or colonial era as well, there have been some movements.
You, being the student of the sociology, as an administrator, which kind of the facts and the value dichotomy you think of are going to face?
Sir, there can be dichotomy between facts and values. Like if the administrator has his own values, maybe for example empathy or compassion, but at the same time if it doesn't if it contracts with the facts of the time or the data, etc., so there can be some contradiction in the
so will there be a conflict, or will there be a amicable balancing act?
So sir, the administrator have to take some balancing act between those things.
Right.
Kamalkishore.
Yes, sir.
Kamalkishore, can you just sing 2 lines of Vande Mataram?
Yes, sir.
Please do.
Vande Mataram Sujalam Sufalam Malayaj Sheetalam Sasya Shamalam Mataram Vande Mataram.
Anyways, good. Consider a situation that you actually become a DM in, say, somewhere in Uttar Pradesh or say in Madhya Pradesh, and you're visiting at this particular school where you are a chief guest. So the children are very excited about you, and then you realize that there is a student of say class 6th or 7th who is not singing the national anthem. And when you approach out of curiosity, he says that why should I be singing this poetry? It refers to Punjab, Sindh, Gujarat, Maratha. It's not referring my state. And this particular poetry mentioning even Sindh, which is not even part of my nation. So why should I actually be reciting this poetry? It's not fair. And either change it, allow me to change this, or I will not sing it. He's a young person, and obviously he cannot be penalized for such an opinion, right?
Yes.
So what will you do? How will you justify the national anthem to a 6th, 7th class student?
Sir, I will ask if he has seen any Bollywood movie in his part, and if he has seen any Bollywood movie, then I will try to tell him that in this Bollywood movie the director was this from this region, or the actor was from this region, and we as a nation constitute we as a different parts of the country, different parts constitute the whole nation.
That is agreeable. That is agreeable. But his argument is that if not all states are represented into this poetry, why should it be our national anthem? Or let there be no state mentioned. Why only the Punjab, Sindh, Gujarat, Maratha, and not other states, for example, which are equally important, if not more?
So, sir, I will try to tell him that the national anthem was created way back in the 20th century or the 19th century, and I will try to tell him that at that time that India was divided into these different regions, and these different regions constitute the whole of the country. For example, if we say Sindh, then
So where was UP in it? In the whole scheme of national anthem, where was UP?
Sir, Ganga Jamuna is said in the national anthem, and it also represents the Uttar Pradesh and that region of India, northern part of India. So all these parts are represented in India with different names, or the region wise they are represented in India.
Good, very good. Fine, Kamalkishore, it was nice talking to you. Your interview is over. You can go now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. May I come in, sir?
Yes, please do.
Thank you, sir.
Take a seat.
Thank you, sir.
So, Kamalkishore, what was your score last time?
Sir, I got 165 marks.
165.
Yes.
You have appeared only once?
No, sir. Earlier also I appeared. Earlier I got 140 marks.
140. Last year you improved to 165.
Yes, sir.
And you missed by how many marks?
Sir, I missed by 10 marks. I got less mark in sociology last year.
Sociology. And
Paper
how
one.
was your mains this time?
It was good, sir.
You believe that you will be covering that 10 marks plus something?
Sir, I think that in last year in sociology I got much lesser mark than my previous score, and I think that this year I will improve much in sociology.
So even if you get 160 or 170, you will through.
Yes, sir.
You're through with the good
there won't be any
service.
problem, as I think, but still I have to get more marks.
Obviously, I mean, more the merrier, but I'm just looking at the assessment. So the Kamal Kishore, in my opinion, you're interview ready right now, right? You're already been to that mill. You
Yes,
understand what is expected of you, how the things gonna unwind for you. You already know that what they'll be looking for, and most of these things are already there in your personality.
Yes.
So I don't think there are any major areas of concern. Coming to specifics, your entry is good. Your sitting posture is good. There is a little hand movement you must have noticed. If you can curb that, it will be good. Your eye contact in general is good, but at a few places, there are instances where you have opportunity to look at everyone.
Yes.
So that you can utilize. There are few instances, but in general, you have to keep that one-to-one eye contact we have been advocating always, right? For example, when you were singing, then there was this opportunity to look at maybe more than one person, because that was an opportunity for it. But usually you have to keep one-to-one eye contact, right?
Yes.
Flow in general is good, but there are few areas where it appears that your communication effectiveness will improve if you can recalibrate your voice speed and maybe a little voice level. Voice level by and large is okay, but voice speed at a few places it can be a little less. It will be better. Otherwise, in general, you are doing most things right when it comes to communication. In the content area, in communication, what we are saying is that you have to make your verbal communication a little bit more effective.
Yes, sir.
That's in the nutshell. Coming to the content area, by and large, I'm happy on most areas. There are a few instances where maybe a little brush up will be required, but in general, your analysis is good, right? There were certain information deficit areas, but when it comes to communication, if you're served with the facts or you have the facts, you're able to analyze them well, and that is your strength.
Yes.
You should try and drive the board into your area of strength, analytical things, right? If you are able to do it, you'll do very, very good. So obviously, there can be a few areas where you can probably revise as far as the factual things are concerned. But these areas will, in any case, will remain, because even if you prepare a lot, they can ask something which you have not prepared. So, but that is not our area of concern. So I don't see 160, I don't see 140, 150. I'm definitely looking lot better than this, and I'm sure there's going to be nothing stopping you this time, right?
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Thank you, sir. Sir, when I was singing the Vande Mataram, should I have stand up and
see
then
in Vande Mataram that is not required as per either by the law or otherwise. And though I would have advised you not to sing properly, but since board members said, then you had no option. So standing up was not necessarily required. But if you believe that they can expect you to be stand up and say, take permission and do that. So that's not a bad idea. Obviously, they will not be asking you to say Vande Mataram. I was just building question for the that national anthem thing, and I didn't want national anthem to be sung. That's why I said Vande Mataram, right? That was the whole idea. Other things definitely very, very good. You're doing wonderful, right?
Okay, sir.
All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.